Alright Bob, this video is literally just for you on how to open up your bog standard PlayStation 4 500 gig first edition console. Right, so as I told you before, torque screwdrivers, paintbrush, unused plastic threads, screwdriver, and sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes a knife. Right, so as I pointed out to you the other night on the PlayStation, this plastic strip here is interchangeable. It doesn't void your warranty in any way, shape or form, and it just slides off. It might have a little bit of resistance at first, but don't worry, you're not breaking anything. Just put your hands on it, grip it, push with your palms, and there you go. It just comes off. No screws, nothing. Alright. So this is your hard drive dock. Right, it's protected by one screw. So I'm just going to get the screwdriver out and pick the right screwdriver head for it. Take that big screw out. Right, put that somewhere where we can see it. Just grip that and pull. There's your hard drive. Right, now you can't really see it on the camera, but there's dust in there. So just make sure all that's nice and clean, right? And then we'll set that to one side up there. And we just want to tap all the dust out the console that will count. Right. So take a quick look inside. Make sure you've getting as much of the dust as you can. If not, just blow in it just to loosen off any dust down at the bottom end, because I doubt that your paintbrush will fit down there. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that, hold on, tilt that up for you. You just want to go through the top of your console backwards and forwards so that there's no dust sitting on the top or in any of the little grooves. Down the front, make sure your USB ports are clear. Take all that dust out from the inside of here, and then try and get your paintbrush to go in through the vents. Wiggle it up and down, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to grip dust from the inside and pull it out. Doesn't make much of a difference because we're going to tap the casing off. Now it's been a while since I've took one of these to bits, so bear with us if I get a couple of screws wrong. And make sure you do the underneath as well, because you need to be thorough. Right. Set the brush down. Now on the back here, next to your power thing, that's your warranty sticker. There is a screw underneath that. Your console's out of warranty anyway, so you might as well remove that and get ready to tap that screw out. There should only be 4 screws on the back. Right. So is this a size? Nope. Small size. Size 8. that top screw out. And set that down. Now, once you've took that top screw out, the back, you've got 2 more screws on the inside here. And these 2, one here and one here, right? Now that casing is just lifting as it should be. Now I distinctly remember there being another screw, possibly not. Well, this is what I'm tapping mine to bits for first. I'm just double checking to make sure that I'm not snapping the case or thingy. No, seems to be it. So just adjust that so you can see. Grip your case here, just under where your USB ports are, and just push, right? I didn't know why that bottom bit's not coming off, but like I said, it's thingy. Right, it's been a while since I took one of these to bits, so once that front bit's loose, you want to come run to the back, right? And this bit of plastic here, you want to try and flip that out of the top of the things, but like I said, it's been a while. I can't seem to remember how to pop the casing off entirely, but already I can see. Oh, alright. So when it's on, pop the front, this bit here, pop that, and then work your way down, and the full thing will just pop off and slide off the back. That's my bad, sorry mate. You should probably watch this video in chunks. Cleaning this part of the case is not necessary really, but the less shit you put back into your console when you put it back together, the better. Right. So that there is the heatsink grip for your processor, right? And that's what's heating up. So it looks like we're going to have to take the bottom of the case off. So we're going to flip it, come back to the back, and we're going to take them 3 screws out the back, right? That's the wrong screwdriver again. I am separating the screws from what I took out the back from what I took out the front, the top, because you didn't want to get them mixed up. Well, again, 3 screws out, and they came out pretty easy. And once they come out, you just lift and take it off. So simple. Everything on the PlayStation should come off front to back. Right. I'm just cleaning the inside of this with a paintbrush. Be as thorough or as unthorough as you want. As I say, it's only the case. It's not something you have to worry about. Right. So we're just gonna tap all this shite out. Right, so this is the meat and tatty of your PlayStation basically. As your disk drive, cooling fan, battery pack. So you'll notice that there's like screws all over the place. What we need to do is we need to tap the fan out, and that will allow us to clean the fan out and stuff like that. So there's a load of screws in the top. They've all got arrows pointing to them. So just make a start. Tapping the ones out around this big black box. There should be one here, one here, one here, one there, and one there, right? I'm going to make my way around clockwise. That's a regular screw. I'll just loosen both of them off. They'll not come out. Take that screw out. And take that screw out. Right. Now, from what I remember about the battery pack, it's a bit of a fucking arse to get out because it sits on two long prongs. One side will just lift up, which is the side that the fan's on. But then we've got to try and pry the rest of it up. Thingy, flush. So I really didn't want to snap. Just tap these screws out. Right. Now, this is on a little white clip here with some cables in. You should, by rights, be able to unplug that, right? And that right there is the power supply for your PlayStation. We're just gonna make sure that we'll give all this a damn good clean. Now, I know a lot of this is very fucking daunting, tapping your console to bits, and it's kind of cheating because I've got 3 PS4s. So me tapping one to bits to show you is like inconsequential. If something doesn't feel like it's going to disconnect, some stuff's going to be awkward, right? Then it get us wrong. Some stuff will be fucking awkward. It's always the same. But if you think it's going to break, don't force it, right? Just leave it. Take it to a shop. Get a shop to do it. Right. So, them's the 2 prongs. Let's see if I can get a camera angle on these. Oh God. That's the 2 prongs. Right there. So I didn't want to snap. Make sure you dust inside all of this and all. Right. Now, your fan, I don't believe you can actually take out, right? But what I said to you about your heatsink being a chunk of metal with loads of lines covering it, this is it. This is your radiator, right? You need to make sure all of this is clear, right? This cannot be blocked at any time because it filters cold air through, which cools down the copper pipe in there, which runs the coolant right the way throughout your PlayStation. So make sure all of that is nice and clean, right? Next, fan. Just put your finger in, stop it from spinning, get your paintbrush in, wiggle it about and spin it slightly. Try and clean any and all dust out of it. As far as I'm aware, the PS4 does have a means of speeding the fan up in safe mode to like blast any dust and shit out of your console, but I would always recommend making sure that you've took as much out as you can yourself first. Fucking pointless working the fan up, because if it could blow the shite out of your console from the get-go, it would do it naturally when it was fucking spinning up at full RPMs when you load a game up. I'm just gonna go on the outside of this just to make sure that there's no kicking about. Around there. Now when I look in there, I can see the metal plate underneath, and it's got a load of circles in it, so that should be clear enough, right? So when you pick your PlayStation up, I want you to look under there, right, where the wires are, because that's underneath your fan, right? Make sure that there's no in here, because that leads to the air grate. Make sure all that's nice and dust free. Now, if there is a way to take this fan cover off, I didn't know it, because as far as I can tell, it's moulded into part of your case, unless the lid comes off it, which I highly fucking doubt. Now, this is the last thing, right? Because literally this is all you can do to clean your console yourself. Now, just to give a better angle of what I'm doing, I'm just cleaning in here where these pipes are, where I can see the copper pipes. Now, if this doesn't solve your problem with your overheating, there's only one other thing that could be causing your console to overheat. Alright, and I know this from PC building. When you put a processor on a motherboard, before you put the chunk of metal back on top or your top of your processor for the cooling, you have to put something called thermal paste on, cooling gel, right? And after a while it dries out, and you're supposed to replace it in your console every 4, 5, 6 years. It's a bit of a gap, I know, but either way, it has to be done. If this doesn't solve your problem, I'll guarantee you it's your thermal paste, in which case I would seriously recommend just taking it to a shopmate and getting it done. Would not recommend doing your cooling paste on your console yourself. Right. Time to plug all this back in. Right, remember to make sure that your power supply sits on them 2 prongs. Right, that's in there. we've plugged the little cable back in, we've put that back down, and it's flush, right? Now you need to push too hard on it, just. There's only this side, I'll take a little bit of pushing, which is the opposite side from where the power cable goes in, right? And we'll drop the big R screws back in first, because that's the ones that hold it in place. Sorry, I forgot what I was doing for a second there. And you just want to go ahead and put your regular screws back in. Your torque head screws. Told you the process wasn't as complicated as what people like to think. And granted, it wasn't easy getting the case off, but it's not like you can remember how to do everything flawlessly. So here's your bottom panel, right? That should just hook out of the front, pull back, push down, right? And pop your 3 little black screws back in. No, I'm not going to bother editing this video at all, because there's no need. I don't know how long the video is, but sorry, I'm trying to put a screw in left-handed, and I'm not left-handed. Right. Flip the console back out. Right. First things first. Put your hard drive back in. Right. Stick the side up. Put in. It'll only get in with a millimeters wiggle room or so. Just keep pushing till it's back in place. Take your big ass screw, and fasten that back in there. Right. Then we'll tap the bottom half of the PlayStation. Hook the back on all the way. Push down. No need to push too hard, remember, just push down. Right. We'll take our 2 silver screws from before. One in there. One in there. Now tap the top cover. Bring this on from the actual top, and it'll be a little bit awkward. Of course it will. Oh, fucking course it will. Should just slide on. Bit of a piss awkward thing, but make sure it's flush down, and then we've only got one screw left to go back in. There you go. PlayStation 4. Always stand it upright, right? Didn't put it in the little fucking narrow corridor compartment bits on a fucking TV unit. It should never have anything down either side, right? You take it from me. You put your PlayStation anywhere like that, or even on the floor on your carpet, and you're gonna regret it eventually. Your PlayStation should always be on a clean surface, open area, not next to any speakers, because the magnets in the speakers will short your console out. Alright? Right, job's a good one. And hopefully, once you've done all this and sorted all this out and it's all working again, hopefully we'll be able to play some Ghost Recon Wildlands. Alright, bruv. Enjoy.